everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Nostalgia Vid. I believe this is episode 37.
It is, yeah.
Absolutely mental, as
I
always.
know.
But as always, I'm joined by George Sheard himself, Mr. Movember himself.
Motherfucker, okay, let's get that, throw that in there, Mr. Movember. Yeah, okay, so I'm doing Movember this year, if you couldn't already tell. No, we are recording this 3 days in, and I am famously incapable of growing facial hair, so give it a chance. Give it a chance.
I've been growing this for 3 days, so this is crazy.
Yeah, it's very impressive, mate. Very impressive.
No, this is about 3
The art of bullshittery from you is exquisite as always.
Standard, of course.
Of course. So yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing it for a good cause, so you're not allowed to take the piss out of it.
That's true, yeah.
You can, but yeah.
We can take the piss on the 1st of December. That's when we can take the piss.
Sure, yeah.
We'll have to record on the 1st of December so I can get all my jokes out.
It'll look atrocious, but we'll see. Who knows what will happen? But if you want to donate to my page, it's a great cause. It will be linked in the Spotify description, or the Apple description, or the fucking YouTube description, wherever you see your descriptions. It'll be linked there if you want to donate to my page. It's all for a good cause, and that is what I'm doing. So, yeah, thanks for that intro. It's a great little plug.
What we're doing today, yeah, it's true. That's a good little plug. And what we're doing today is we've talked about good TV shows. We've talked about good video games. We've talked about good movies. Mm-hmm. What if we talked about the shit movies? And I think we should talk about shit TV shows and shit video games at some point as well.
Oh, yeah.
But today, we want to talk about what we think are some shit movies that we've seen and potentially compile a list at the end of us going. Because I think you'll definitely have some that I've not thought of, and I'll probably have a few that you've not thought of. I've got a very small list, because one of the things I struggle with this is I struggle to not be satisfied with movies. Like, movies have to be, like, atrociously shit for me to not enjoy them. Like, I enjoy the shit of the shit. Like, it is kind of a... Well, we've fucking seen my music taste and my TV show taste, so... And my video game taste. I have a bad habit of enjoying shit things, so...
It's true.
Yeah.
But I think
there's none of my top 5 movies that I thought were shit. Like,
no, they were pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty standard, but good.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty good taste.
Pitch Perfect 2 is in there, but you know. But I think with this it's interesting because we went into it going like, oh, let's do a top 5 worst of all time. We both sat down and just thought like, how the fuck do we do that? Because I don't really know how you describe like a top 5 worst films.
Yeah.
And I've pulled a few, but I think there are a few.
Well, isn't it?
Yeah, and I also think there's a way of being able to go, well, what... It is subjective, and it always will be, but what makes an objectively bad film? Like, what makes a film genuinely bad? And obviously we've just come off the back, and I'm not going to talk about it, but like too much, because we've already heard me rant about it, but like Joker, Folie à Deux, like that is an example of a film that has just kind of fucked it for everyone. Like, everyone's just kind of like, oh, we hate this. This is recognised as shit.
One of the movies I want to talk about is also an equivalent, I would say, of a new movie that I went to see and was not great.
Okay, well, I'm interested. Start with that. Like, what did you talk to me?
Venom: The Last Dance was fucking horrific.
Oh, I'm excited about this because I've not seen it and I don't give a flying fuck about spoilers. So feel free to tell me.
They actually fumbled the bag so
really?
badly.
How do you? Can I ask? How do you fumble the bag on a Venom film?
You introduce a villain who is fucking incredible, have an actor who is fucking incredible playing him, and he is not in the fucking movie. He's in it for like 4 minutes max. Like, it's... Bro, they had
heard about this.
They teased that shit at the start. They had a fucking banger-ass, like, intro cutscene for it. I call it cutscene.
Cutscene?
I've been playing fucking Call of Duty Zombies, so...
okay.
Bro, had a fucking banger intro, was like, this
Who's
is
he
no
played
fucking... Andy fucking Serkis.
Yeah, perfect, right. Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
Bro, amazing. What did they do? Fuck all with him. They fucking did nothing. He fucking had his forehead in the screen for like 4 minutes of the movie and did a fucking 30-second post-credit scene to show his face. One of the greatest Marvel villains.
Post-credit scene?
Yes, a post-credit scene where he goes, ha, I will survive, and looks at the camera, and then it just cuts to black.
Okay, so what is the crack with that then? What is the future of the Sonyverse? Did Venom die in this film?
So Venom dies. So spoilers. Venom dies in this movie. first of all, before we go into any of like,
does
this
Tom
kind of
Hardy
stuff-
die?
No, Tom Hardy survives. So
Venom dies. The symbiote dies.
The symbiote dies. So
Boring.
the first half of this movie, fuck all happens. It is Tom Hardy walking through a desert, meeting some random ass people. Like Venom in this movie, I just want to say it outright. And this was in Let There Be Carnage as well. Fucking how Venom is written or wrote, whatever the fuck you want to say, in the Venom movies is horrific. He should not be a fucking comedian. Like, this shit is ass, my guy. Like, why? Why is Venom a comedian? It's not funny. It's just cringe. Why? Halfway through this movie, does Venom, I'd like to specify, Venom have a dance scene with Mrs. Cheng? Like,
I heard
why?
about this. I heard that this scene took place.
A fucking Mamma Mia remix and had them do a CGI dance. Like,
I heard that it was in a scene as well.
Horrific.
I heard that was in a scene as well where where Venom was supposed to be trying to stay hidden.
Yes. So the
And
whole
for
thing
no
is,
reason he came out and danced.
so
Right. That's crazy.
the whole concept of the movie is that because I think it's the first one, the first one when Tom Hardy dies and Venom brings him back to life in the first movie, when he fights Riot at the end of the first movie. So the whole thing is if that happens with a symbiote, and the symbiote revives the host, what happens is it creates like a bond, but like a molecular bond, and it creates something called a codex. So
Right.
Null, when he was first like, oh, I'm gonna fucking destroy the universe, the symbiotes essentially trapped him, and the only way to free Null was to get a codex. So what Null does is he sends all these random ass aliens that aren't even symbiotes, by the way, just random ass aliens to Earth to hunt down this codex. The codex can only be seen if the symbiote comes into full form, if that makes sense. So Venom can still do his weird shit where he pulls tentacles out. He can still fucking pop his head out and have a conversation, attempted a comedic conversation with Tom Hardy. So they're like, Venom's literally like, oh, I can't come out. I don't want to do this, that, and the other. They see Mrs. Cheng. Mrs. Cheng starts flirting with Venom, and then they're like, hey, let's go and have a dance in the apartment. And Venom comes out and has a full dance scene. And then that basically starts like the finale of the movie when he gets attacked, and then shit starts to kick off with Area 51. Anyway, so they did fuck all for the first half of this movie. It's just Venom going through it. It's just Tom Hardy walking through a desert, and then them like jumping to this secret underground facility of Area 51, which is called like Area 55 or something, where they have new symbiotes, toxins in it, which is very cool. And he has some cool conversations and looks sick. The CGI for the symbiotes looks sick, but it doesn't all the movies. So, and then like the finale of the movie, like the big climax is all these aliens start to attack. The symbiotes basically break out of their containers, attached to these hosts, like the scientist hosts. Big fight scene, big explosion, this, that, and the other. Symbiotes is cool. They didn't really do any of the famous ones, but they kind of the most famous symbiotes are like the children of Venom, like Scream, like Whiplash and stuff like that. And they kind of get teased in one of the post-credit scenes.
What is the plan, though? Like, you say this, it's like, the post-credit scenes. If Venom's fucking dead, what's the point? Was there anything to do with Spider-Man?
I assume the plan... No. Nothing to do with Spider-Man.
I don't understand... Right. I don't understand this. It's a Spider-Man villain, and there's no...
Yeah, so no plan.
3 films!
So... To me, let me keep. So I'll go to the post-credit scenes afterwards.
Yeah,
that's the competition. Sorry.
Yeah.
Keep going. Venom basically detaches from Tom Hardy. This is the complete TLDR. Venom basically detaches from Tom Hardy, and basically like starts to accumulate with all these aliens. They go into like an acid vat, and he basically gets burned. But Venom's like, this won't be the last time you see me. Venom dies, right? Fucking dog shit ending. Was fucking shit anyway.
Just
the absolute worst part of this movie, right? And this fucking made me want to fucking rip my skin off. The finale of the movie is Tom Hardy walking down the street with Memories by Maroon 5 playing over the top, and they do a scissor reel of all the moments from the previous movies with Tom Hardy and Venom. Like, it's horrific. It's absolutely...
How do they remotely think... What
that
the
was my
fucking
reaction.
hell are Sony doing? I'm sorry. You've had the streak of Morbius, Madam Web, and Venom 3. Like, that is devastating.
I was sitting in the cinema being like, please. I was like, please don't let this be the end. Like, please don't let this be the finale. Nothing there was literally no follow-on from... the movie starts basically just before you get sucked back into the Sony universe, but there's nothing to do with Spider-Man from that at all. There's nothing to do with No Way Home at all. And then the post-credit scene, one of them basically teases as if Null's going to be in more movies, which fucking hope so, because they did call with him in this movie. And then they teased, like, the guy from... You know the guy from the bar from No Way Home?
Yes.
Basically, you meet, like, his Sony universe equivalent, and basically because he's had an interaction with Venom early in the movie, he gets taken by Area 55 to be, like, interrogated, and the ending of the movie is him escaping this blown-up Area 55, and then it pans down to, like, these broken test tubes, which earlier in the movie we saw had the children of Venom in, like the little symbiotic toxin and Whiplash and Scream and stuff, basically implying that, these symbiotes have escaped, so the children of Venom are out there. So my guess is that they're going to do some sort of, like, symbiote movie with Scream.
I don't care. I really couldn't give less of a shit. Can we just do a fucking Venom film in the Spider-Man, like, universe? Can we just do something and fucking just give it rights back to Marvel, man?
They fumbled. Like, it is... Bro, I was so excited for Noel as well. I was so excited. And they
what's next?
Fumbled it.
This is what I'm excited for. Because we've got Kraven the Hunter coming out. Is that going to be any good? I have no fucking idea. But we've had a hell of a streak with Madam Web, Morbius, and fucking...
It actually could be as well that they have fumbled. Bro, Sony have
it's
no
R-rated
idea what they're
as well.
doing.
They're going like crazy with it.
It's so bad.
I don't know. I'm interested.
Apparently,
apparently Rhino is in this and the Chameleon.
He is.
Oh no, I've
Rhino's
seen
supposed
the
to be
Rhino
Kraven's
in.
dad. It's supposed to be Kraven's dad, and he like transforms into like a.
Have you seen
the Rhino?
Have you seen what the Kraven Rhino looks like?
Yeah, I've seen it. They played the trailer before Venom. It's bad. Yeah, I just feel like Sony have no idea. So that was like my you saw me. I was like, this shit is ass, dog. Like, Venom: The Last Dance makes me want to take a long dance off a short stage. So it's
that's very good. So films like that is like I just expect to be fucking terrible, and I think that's like part of that whole thing is like
honestly after this Google the like finale of it, like just watch the weird like 2-minute scissor reel with the Maroon 5 song playing over the top.
I'm fascinated.
It's bad. It's so bad.
I think with superhero films that's it, isn't it? And we're in an era where we are getting a lot worse projects and a lot worse things that are coming up and terrible some terrible superhero films that really just aren't even remotely good, like that, like Madam Web, like fucking Morbius. It's like you're taking basic things and trying to do something amazing with it, and you're trying to do like recapture the same sort of vibe as other things. It just doesn't work. Some things will work if you put the time and effort in. Sony just can't do it.
They have Spidey-Verse, which is great. They have Spidey-Verse, which is
but that's because it's produced well and they've got a good team behind it and they're patient. But like
they just fumble. They can't do the live action movies. Like Madam Web could have been a banger. Shit. Venom 3 could have been a certified banger. Shit. Kraven the Hunter is going to be shit.
The thing is, we're going to get another Spider-Man film, and we will move on from this. We're just talking about bad movies in general, because we've done Spider-Man before. But Spider-Man, like, as a character, they're going to do Spider-Man 4, and it's very heavily rumoured. I mean, the script is basically almost finished, but it's very heavily rumoured that we're just going to get another multiverse Spider-Man film, as opposed to like a street-level one. And that is the going rumour at the minute. And I'm
I heard
worried
that
about
Tom Holland, in interviews, has been saying he's been fighting for his life with Sony about what they want to do for the movie. So,
but they get the final say at the end of the day, don't they?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but it's that's sort of the thing. Why don't they just, after No Way Home, bring Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man in to do like a Venom film? It's like that would have been that would have worked, and like you could have done that, and it maybe wouldn't have been perfect, but it would have been better than just this. I don't know anyone who's that interested in just seeing symbiotes. I guess there's an interest for it, but like 3 fucking Venom films without Spider-Man just seems really pointless. They never got the sort of like spider symbol across Venom's chest. You lose that. I think the vibe of like Venom, the way he looks and stuff, is excellent. Like they really got that down. But the comedy, the fucking lack of Spider-Man,
I still think's really
but also
good.
It's like it doesn't feel like Venom. It's like Venom should corrupt someone.
Like,
you know,
that's what I'm saying. Why the fuck is Venom a comedian? Like the first movie was good because it was kind of like. The majority of the movie was like the evil kind of like antagonist.
I enjoyed Venom. I enjoyed
Venom 1 is
film,
amazing. Venom 1's amazing. I still love it to this day. Let There Be Carnage again wasn't great. Again, you fumbled a Carnage movie, which is horrific. How the first time we're doing Carnage in live action you fumbled that badly, and then how are you fumbling Null this badly? Like it's horrific.
Yeah,
I'd rather have just been like the most fucking fan wanky like fucking null central, like make Venom OP, he kills a fucking god. Like I actually don't care. Like that would have been so much better. But again, it just felt like Venom 1, but half of the movie is literally null and void because, pardon the pun, because nothing, like literally nothing happens. So
yeah, I don't think there's any redeeming factors to those sorts of films, and I think you have to really. Studios are really trying to work out the balance. They can't just make slop and people will buy into it, and that's the worry we're entering an age.
I was excited for Craven, but now I literally have no hope.
I think it's a studio side of things. I think it's a high up studio level thing, and I think we've got a lot of issues with that in the industry at the moment. I think for me, and I could actually like lead this into one of my films on my list of like ones to talk about is like the live action Lion King film is on there for me. So this is a film that I saw, and I mean, it wasn't exactly the best conditions for this film. Like, I watched it after a fucking 9-hour flight on a bus.
Can we also preference live action Lion King? Yeah.
There's a whole thing behind this, because they're now making a sequel to the live action Lion King film.
It's actually a prequel, so...
Oh.
Get your facts right.
Sorry.
Mufasa is a prequel to the Lion King franchise.
Why are you so fucking defensive of this, brother? Like, it's like just dog shit.
Actually, in the universe of the Lion King.
Into the lion verse coming soon.
Into the lion.
I hate the idea.
It would still be better than Venom 3.
It still would be better. It probably still will be. The thing with these films, though, for me, is that this is Disney's new thing, is that, like, when you can't get people with, like, the sort of superhero nostalgia and cameos, they started to lean into doing different kinds of nostalgia. Instead of making new animated films, or just new live-action films, or just any sort of thing like that, they have started making, like, actual live-action films based on the animated classics, right? I think it started with like Beauty and the Beast.
So, I could be wrong, but this is what I heard was the reason. Do you know why they originally started doing like the princess live actions and stuff?
I'll tell you what I think. Yeah, money.
No, copyright.
What?
Because the copyrights were going to expire on like Sleeping Beauty, like some of the originals, like Snow White, Sleeping Beauty.
They still will.
The copyright.
They still will.
No, because they get to renew the copyright. There's something to do with them doing new movies that they can renew the copyright for them.
Yeah, but that's also not how that works, though, because the original story... So, for example, right, they did a live-action remake of The Jungle Book, which is an adaptation of an animated film of The Jungle Book, which is an adaptation
Was that
of
the first one?
A book by Rudyard Kipling. That is the original copyright. You can adapt The Jungle Book without needing to consult Disney, 100%.
Yeah.
You just can't have fucking bare necessities in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll tell you an example as to why. Because when the Jungle Book live action film came out, a second Jungle Book live action film came out at the same time called Mowgli. And it was directed by fucking Andy Serkis. Yeah. It came out at the same time. Jon Favreau directed The Jungle Book and Andy Serkis directed Mowgli. They both came out at the same time. They were both live-action adaptations. The Jungle Book was a live-action adaptation of the musical from the original Disney production, and Mowgli was an live-action adaptation of the book.
Yeah.
Right? Not a musical. That's the weird fucking thing that they're getting into now. And it's like, so the copyright side of things can excuse certain elements, but I guarantee you it's money at the forefront.
I think it started as copyright and then it's turned to money. Do you not agree? Because I'm not being funny.
Sure. Yeah,
why they like? That's the thing though. Like some of them make sense because they're so old. Like live action Sleeping Beauty makes sense because it's so old.
But Sleeping Beauty hasn't been made.
Has it not?
No.
I'm fucking googling these live actions because I actually
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Snow White's only just being made now, and that was their first feature film. So you'd think if any copyright was going to expire, it would be Snow White first, and that hasn't been made yet. It's being made now.
Okay, all 21 Disney live action remakes.
21.
That's what it says.
Do you fuck off?
Fucking
really?
Hell. Jungle Book, Pete's Dragon.
Hang on, was that the first one?
2016. Yeah. So I don't actually count. So there's been Jungle Book, Pete's Dragon, which I've never fucking heard of. Cinderella.
Hang on. It's one at a time. Pete's Dragon.
Peter Dragon. Peter Dragon
Right.
continues Disney's current live-action winning streak with an updated version that gives the original visuals an overhaul without overwhelming its sweet and soulful drama. Yes,
Okay,
same thing.
Fine.
Cinderella.
Cinderella was 2015. Yeah.
Yes, so Cinderella was before Jungle Book, so was Cinderella first.
Are you looking at the Rotten Tomatoes list?
Yeah.
Because this is half bullshit, by the way. Half of these
so
don't even
these...
fucking count. No.
No.
I'm going like...
Hang on. So, no, Cinderella counts, yes. Mulan counts, yes. Christopher Robin, you can fucking argue it. Beauty and the Beast, yes. Little Mermaid, yes. Lady and the Tramp, yes. Aladdin, definitely. Lion King,
Tramp?
Definitely.
They did Lady and the Tramp in live... Hang on. Right, Cruella doesn't count. Mulan counts, but was badly received. Christopher Robin doesn't. Beauty and the Beast is. Little Mermaid, yes. Lady and the Tramp 2019? When the fuck did that even come out?
I remember this coming out because I think we watched it as a family. I think we watched it during lockdown.
Plus, presumably. 2019, to be fair, yeah. Peter Pan and
Aladdin.
Wendy. When the fuck was that? 2023? Aladdin, yes. Well, Aladdin is one I will happily talk about.
Aladdin,
Maleficent doesn't count though. It's like it's kind of kind of lore, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Lion King.
Alice
in Wonderland, Dumbo
counts definitely. 101 Dalmatians is fucking that
No,
was fucking
I don't
old.
know about that.
No, that doesn't count. That doesn't count
because that's not even part.
We're talking about like the new one. We're talking about like the new era, and then Pinocchio.
Yeah,
Pinocchio. And then obviously there's Snow White, as well.
The thing is, it's like you can it's if it was about that's what I'm saying though. But
yeah,
okay,
it was about copyright. You would have done.
Let's say it started with copyright, even just for argument's sake. Like it's about money, and the fact of the matter is, they look at it and they go, "Well, we have to capitalize on something." It's a lack of creativity. Disney were the forefront in cinema for many, many years, and they've made some phenomenal, iconic films. They've made some fantastic things with Pixar, but now they've ran out of this creative impulse to get new ideas and new creatives. They just pick up their old projects and give them to established filmmakers to make slop. John Favreau is a talented filmmaker, sure, but why the fuck does he keep doing these fucking projects? It's money. It's money.
Why the fuck are they doing a live action Moana? Moana is not that old.
That's the other thing. They're doing Moana 2 and then a live action Moana with the same fucking actors playing the characters. It's like, just watch the animated film. Like, it's money. It is literally money. That's all it's for. That's all it's needed to be. Because it did well, right? How long is it going to be, genuinely, before a live action Toy Story?
That's Pixar though, isn't it?
No, I'd give it not long. That would bang. It would do well. I'd see it out of curiosity because
yeah, it's true.
You do it and it's actually like real actors.
Yeah,
but it's still CGI because how do you say it's a live action Lion King?
You don't. It's
like
a
they're not. Yeah. They're CGI animals. Yeah, and they have no emotion.
They start off as live action remakes, and then they are doing just heavily animated
anything
ones,
they fucking want now. Yeah. And like Aladdin, I didn't mind. Like I don't think I've even seen it all the way through, but I don't mind that because they try and do something new with it. It has its flaws, sure, but like a lot of that is live action, right?
I think Aladdin is the best out of all of them.
Pinocchio's fucking whack.
I don't think I've seen Pinocchio.
Can't believe Pinocchio was directed by Robert Zemeckis. Starring Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they got cooked straight away, right? Because Pinocchio, the Disney live-action remake, came out around the same time as another little film called Pinocchio. But it's Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. And I think if that tells you anything, it tells you that animated filmmaking is still a very well-oiled machine, and it is still a fantastic creative output. You don't have to live-actionify everything. The reason they do it isn't because of creativity, isn't because of wanting to make something fresh and unique and something for their audience. It's to make money. Capitalize off it. Oh, do you remember Aladdin? Do you remember fucking Robin Williams doing the like Friend Like Me? Like, oh, how about Will Smith doing it and butchering it? How about Will Smith trying to emulate Robin Williams instead of trying to do his own style of genie? Do you remember this? Do you remember? Come and watch this new. It's like it's the fucking same thing. It's for parents who grew up in the generation of these original cartoons to go, oh, I remember this. Oh, this is how I'll introduce my kid to it. It's how I probably
the originals.
Yeah, exactly. But people are fucking fickle. It comes out around Christmas. Oh, let's go to the cinema around Christmas. Oh, I'll take my kid to see something. Oh, Aladdin. The new Aladdin. Oh, wow. It'll be just like the old one, but worse. It's like the same. I feel like it's probably the same sort of generation of how people who were fans of the original Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory felt when Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory came out, where it's like, it's for a new generation. Because I was that generation. 2005 that came out. I was that generation. I grew up on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Didn't really like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, and I grew up, watched them both properly, and I was like, actually, the fucking original is miles better. But we don't talk about that shit, do we?
Banger. Original's so much better. But yeah, bear in mind, the original Lion King is one of my favorite movies ever. Like it is. I adore that movie still to this day.
The problem I have with that is exactly the whole reason behind this. It's like it's devoid of any sort of fucking emotion, and you can go on like YouTube and watch like the side by side scene of when Mufasa dies, and like watch the side by side of both films, and you could see the lack of emotion in this one, and how animation and the original animation made like 20-30 years prior is by far superior.
It's
not even just because it's the original, it's just better. It's just so much better because animation allows for those expressive character moments that live action or like realistic CGI animals don't. How the fuck do you expect to get emotion out of a realistic looking lion?
True.
What's wrong with you? Just use animation. And you know the funny fucking thing is, it is animation. It's still animation. It's not live action. There's nothing fucking live action about it. It's fucking animated on a computer. It's photoreal live action. It's photoreal fucking animated Lion King. It's the same, but with a worse fucking artistic style. It's shot like a fucking David Attenborough documentary. It has no depth, no emotion, no colour.
I've ever heard you in anything we spoke about.
Because it's the exact thing that's wrong with the modern film industry, and it fucks me off. Anyway, more terrible films.
I agree, though. The thing for me that I don't like the original music. They did original songs for it.
But this is the thing. This is
just don't.
Which is it's good. It's good form. I quite like when the idea behind that is any new musical that comes out as a film, whether it's adapted from the stage or whether it's adapted from a previous musical that's been on screen, they always write a new song. Do you know why that is? So they write a new song. You watch any musical, there'll be a song that was never in the original Broadway performance or anything like that. It's so that they can be put forward for an Academy Award for Best Original Song.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why they do it. Little Shop of Horrors had it back in the day, and it's a great song. But the reason these live-action remakes, they all have a new song. And what they tend to be is they tend to try and fix mistakes that weren't there in the first place, right? So it gives, in a lot of cases, these live-action remakes give some of the female characters a song of their own to sort of portray how they're feeling. The fact of the matter is, and that's a great idea to go, okay, we didn't do that back then. That's not. Maybe we should give this character a little bit more depth, a little bit more emotion, a little bit. But the thing is, it's like they're never on the same level. And some of these films, like, okay, The Lion King. I don't know what the new song is, but I believe it's not.
But it's
what I saw about it was it's like I think it's like. Is it Nala the character? I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
There's Nala, who's played by Beyonce.
Yeah.
But the song is sang over like a montage as opposed to the character singing it. So what it essentially is not Nala singing it. It is footage of lions whilst Beyonce sings a new song. That's what it is. And then you've got like... There are other examples as well, but the fact of the matter is you've got like Little Mermaid and stuff. I don't know what the new song is in there. And like Beauty and the Beast, which had music composed and written by Alan Menken and Howard Ashman, I believe. I think that's their names. I'd be horrified if I got that wrong. And they are some of the pioneers of that golden era of like Disney animations and music. And the fact of the matter is, you're just not gonna hit that level. You write a new song for The Little Mermaid or Beauty and the Beast, like you're not gonna hit the level of like
you're not gonna hit the grades.
That right? Like if they made Little Shop of Horrors again now and did a remake, which was in talks. Like, I would have been fascinated to see. It would never have been anything on the original. But if they'd written a new song, it would be so hard to capture the style of music that was written in the 80s now. Because you're trying to emulate. You're not trying to do an original thing, right? And that's the problem with it, I think.
I also think the cast is whack for the live-action Lion King. It's absolutely whack. It's just big names for no reason at all. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, that's what's wrong with the modern film industry in terms of remakes and live action shit. Have you got anything else to kind of like throw my way? I've got a few ideas.
I want to put these two towards you because I don't know if you've seen these.
Okay.
So it's a trilogy, and I know you have issues with this franchise anyway. So Fantastic Beasts 1 is genuinely one of the greatest movies. Like, it's such a good movie, right? It's an unreal. Like, it's a great sequel / prequel to the Harry Potter franchise. Yeah, amazing. Fantastic Beasts 2 and 3 are fucking atrocious. Have you seen them?
No. I've not seen them, and I've got
bad.
I've got strong opinions.
They are so bad
on where they went with that, and I have various strong opinions that I probably not shouldn't talk about, but like very like I'm just not as educated as some people, and I feel like other people can more eloquently put points of how I feel across. But effectively, I do not stand by a single fucking thing that J.K. Rowling spouts out these days. And the fact of the matter is, she is, in my eyes, someone who I detest. For no less than their views on transgender people, not just their views, but the way they speak it out. And the fact of the matter is, I feel uncomfortable putting, like being part of engaging in any active project that puts money in that woman's pocket. That includes films, that includes video games, that includes anything with the Harry Potter license nowadays. I enjoyed Harry Potter growing up. I liked it. I genuinely did. And I watched the first Fantastic Beasts, and I enjoyed that. I didn't watch the other films because I didn't care about them, but out of principle, I can't bring myself to like support that franchise. And I think there's a lot of issues with that. And the problem I think Warner Brothers have is they, I think, desperately want to cut ties with JK, but can't. Because she owns Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
No matter what, she's getting money. But I'm sure there's some team behind at Warner Brothers who are like, we need to pay her off and own it ourselves. Because until that happens, Harry Potter and any new product with Harry Potter will be consistently associated with her. Like Hogwarts Legacy tried to
Hogwarts Legacy was like rough when it first came out.
Yeah, it was rough, but it tried to make up the difference. It tried to add like a transgender character into it. It tried to add in a lot of that sort of stuff. But the fact of the matter is, it's always going to be putting money in this woman's pocket, and she uses that like her platform as a political standpoint. And I think like, whatever your views on certain things, like obviously people have different levels of what they understand, and it's a very contentious issue that I'm not going to speak about. It's not my place to talk about, and I don't want to talk about like transgender issues on this stream. As a fucking cis man, I have like no say in the argument, as I would say neither does J.K. Rowling. This whole thing is a really tricky one, but I think going to the film perspective,
her writing is shit for those two movies. It's fucking atrocious.
But this is the thing.
It's shit.
And I'll go back to like The Shining, right? Stephen King wrote a phenomenal book in The Shining. Stanley Kubrick adapted it for the screen, and it was brilliant, but very, very different. Stephen King didn't like that, so what did he do? In the 90s, he wrote a miniseries of for The Shining, adapting the book. Now, I've never seen this miniseries, but he got absolutely fucking slated and panned in all sorts of directions. And I'll tell you why. Because Stephen King is an author. He's not a screenwriter. They are very, very different skills. Some people can do both eloquently. J.K. Rowling, Stephen King, two people who can't. That's all I'll say. J.K. Rowling wrote some phenomenal books that completely changed a generation, right? And they were adapted to film, and they were brilliant films. Those films did well, and then you want spin-offs, you want prequels, you want all this sort of stuff. And she wrote the treatments and the scripts for 3 films. The first one was probably heavily assisted and it was successful and did well. But Fantastic Beasts 2 and then later 3, questionable.
Other thing, I love Eddie Redmayne. Eddie Redmayne's great in those movies. Other character who's fucking incredible, Johnny Depp, is amazing in the second movie. And then what do? They recast him for the third movie because of everything that was going on.
Yeah.
And he's unbelievable, like phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal in those movies.
But it's also just like there's a lot of problems I have with it. It's like the whole Johnny Depp thing. It's like I understand why they got rid of him. You know, he's a problematic character, especially at that time. But it's questionable when you have, especially considering the first film, he's in disguise the whole time as Colin Farrell, and then changes to like Johnny Depp at the end, and then it's like in the third film he's then played by Mads Mikkelsen, so it's like a whole other thing. It's just like trying to, I don't know. It's a whole thing, and I don't think it works, but it is what it is. My problem is like other stuff, and it's like the way these stories are told. Like I think that I've not seen them, right? But I get the impression that, especially in the last film, they try and really ham home the whole thing of Grindelwald and Dumbledore being a thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, how heavily stated is that?
Heavily.
Because my issue was always like, show, don't tell. And it was like, Dumbledore's gay because J.K. Rowling said it in an interview. But it's like, no. Put it in, you're writing scripts.
I don't think it's ever actually said. It's just really heavily implied. Now that I'm thinking about it. I think it's just really heavily implied. It's never actually stated outright.
And the thing is, it's like show don't tell. J.K. Rowling sat in interviews going, "Yeah, Dumbledore's gay. Dumbledore's always been gay." It's like it's bullshit because you're now trying to retrospectively inject diversity into your project, which didn't have it, and you're completely within your right to go. Oh, he wasn't, and he never intended to be, but from this point onwards, I'd like him to be. But then you wrote 3 fucking films, 2 of which had Dumbledore in it, with his love interest, and you imply that they're gay, and are in, I'll have a relationship. That's what I'm saying. Like show, don't tell. If the character's gay, brilliant. Make him gay on screen. It's just you need to sort of see some stuff towards that, and I think it's the same sort of thing. It's like the whole thing about like and it's the problem. This is like the whole thing of like J.K. Rowling in interviews talking about Harry Potter is crazy because she just makes up any old shit and tries to go along with it. I remember when
it's canonized.
It's just fucking ridiculous. Like the Cursed Child came out, like the theatre production.
Oh yeah.
And there was a bit of a thing because like Hermione was black in that production, and that's fine. Like that. It's a fucking stage production. Like we're not expecting fucking the original actors from the films to be up there, but then it was J.K. Rowling saying, "Oh, Hermione was always meant to be black," and it's like. Motherfucker, you cast Emma Watson. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you were involved in that. If you genuinely thought that character was black the whole time, cast a black actress to play the character. Don't bullshit your fucking fans. Don't bullshit people into trying to re-inject it, going, oh, my things have always been progressive. Oh, this was always meant to be this. This was always meant to be that. It's not.
How is she described? The easiest way to look at it is say it's just described in the book.
Yeah, but and I can't remember. I can't cite it, but I swear to God, someone has pulled it up and been like, Hermione's literally white in the book.
I'm sure you could literally just look at the first book.
And that's like fine when they do this HBO remake of Harry Potter into a series.
Yeah.
And Hermione's black in that. Great. Fantastic. Injecting proper diversity into these books, right? But like don't pretend that it was but don't always
Annabeth.
Yeah, but don't always
One
pretend
of the main girls has changed. She's black in the new TV in the new TV show.
Like great. It's great to see that sort of diversity because these characters like don't hinge on that fact. Like anyone can play that
just
character.
Amazing? Yeah, exactly. She's playing the character. There you go. So,
exactly.
And
but what annoys me is J.K. Rowling trying to inject it into it's always been like this. It hasn't. But it's also not a bad thing that it hasn't. It's just like now going forward, actually in the new version she can be. She can be
it's
black,
like
but it's like
Rick Riordan when they cast her as Annabeth didn't go, oh well, Annabeth's black in all the books.
Yeah, exactly. You can't go back and retroactively change things to be more diverse just because you didn't do it as diverse as it could have been the first time round. You can't retroactively change that. You can't.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Just don't pretend that you did. Oh yeah, I have my issues with J.K. Rowling.
TLDR, watch Fantastic Beasts 1, don't watch 2 and 3 because they are...
The first one's good.
I've
not
really
seen
good.
the second 2, but I really want...
Ed Redmayne as Newt Scamander, amazing.
Yeah, a little bit too Matt Smith, but I like it. But he's been an amazing Doctor because his entire performance is based off Matt Smith's Doctor. I mean, come on, when you watch it, it's a bit like he definitely gives off Matt Smith vibes, and that's not a bad thing.
100%.
That's not a bad thing, but yeah, he'd be a good Doctor because his performance is definitely inspired by it. But I think I long story short, fucking Warner Brothers buy Harry Potter off J.K. Rowling, please, so I can look forward to new and exciting projects in that world and not be filled with resentment every time you release something.
Anyway. Would you like to talk about a bad movie?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about like some like bad sort of comedies, and I think like not comedies that aren't that like because there's no way of saying a comedy's objectively bad because it's different tastes. But I have very like it's so funny you brought up J.K. Rowling because I was gonna have I've got like a whole thing here about Ricky Gervais, but I'm not gonna go into that now because I feel like I've already kind of went in on J.K. Rowling like already enough without needing to start dragging Ricky Gervais for the same shit. There is a wider discussion to be had there, and I think that would be a really interesting topic for another episode. But like his films, like Invention of Lying, Ghost Town, it's like the example of like comedy dying on its arse, where it's like British style in like American style, and it just kind of doesn't fucking blend. And that film was something I was going to talk about, but I feel like I'm going to save some Ricky Gervais talk for another episode because again, I have my opinions on the man, and I have my opinions on his work, the good and the bad. So I think there's a wider conversation to be had there. Have you ever seen Napoleon Dynamite?
No, I don't think so.
It's like a classic comedy that everyone fucking talks about and raves about, and it's like iconic. I did not get it, and I don't think it's necessarily a thing that's sort of say like, oh, you're fucking evil if you like this film. No, I just think it's interesting, like comedies like that. Like it's not that it hasn't aged badly, but I'm just like it's not. I just don't get it now. And I feel like I'm not labeling it as a bad film, but it's something that came to mind when I'm thinking about like films that like kind of tip me off a little bit. And then there's another one which was like called Greed. That's the very obscure one, but this is a very recent film, which is just like using. It's like for me, like lazy filmmaking. It's like they're trying to make something deeper. And I was in preparation for this podcast episode, I looked at my letterbox and I looked at like my worst reviewed films. Creed was up there, and I remember not liking Creed, but I can't remember why. I looked into it and I read what I'd said, and then I looked up some of the film, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is atrocious. It's not the comedy that's bad. Like, it's got a good cast: Steve Coogan, David Mitchell, like Asa Butterfield. There's some great like names in there. They try and inject like a message into there when that is not really what the intention of the rest of the film is. The film is based around this like fashionista giant, basically like the equivalent of like the CEO of fucking like Adidas or something, right?
Yeah.
Rich philanthropist, fucking arsewipe, played by Steve Coogan, who's hosting this massive like birthday party thing, and it's just that's the whole. But it's like he's under scrutiny because of his sort of like the way he gets his clothes made and all that sort of thing for his fashion brand. It's all like sweatshops and all that sort of shit. And he's under criticism. He's trying to enjoy his birthday, and there's a whole thing and yada yada. Big party includes a live lion, which accidentally at one point gets released and rips Steve Coogan to shreds, eating him alive. That's the end of the film. Spoiler alert. The film ends with like a eulogy at his funeral, which then cuts into money, 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 with loads of clips of real life sweatshops and a bunch of statistics being like, this is how many people work in sweatshops. And I'm like, the whole film is a pretty subpar British comedy, but they really fire into this angle of going like, look how clever we are, look what we've done. It's like, if you wanted to tell a story, do a documentary, right?
Yeah.
Or be clever about your screenwriting. You made a very generic, like almost like Channel 4 British comedy to basically...
a bad Channel 4 British comedy.
And then try and spin it... Yeah, exactly. And then try and spin it as this sort of like deep, meaningful project. And it's like, okay,
yikes.
Cool. I get it. Fuck the rich. Seriously. Like, I get it. They make some good points in those stats. It was like the 26 richest people in the world have the combined wealth of the poorest 3.1 billion. And I'm like, that's interesting. That's a cool fact. But, like, you have not connected this in the way you think you've connected this. Mm-hmm. You've got this abysmal kind of comedy film, which I don't have any memorable moments from it, bar the bits in the trailer. The funniest bits of the film were in the trailer. And then trying to tie it to some sort of message to seem fucking important, to seem like some sort of culturally relevant film. It's the effort to try and do that. A lot of studios, and this sort of leads into it, a lot of studios and stuff, they try to reach a goal to tick off, to be culturally relevant, to be a discussion point, as opposed to just making fucking art. Filmmaking is an art. Let's keep making it a fucking art. I can't stand it when things are given these sort of things where it's just a bog standard fucking comedy film with a bit of a shit like sort of real life connection, and then go in, oh, look at this, all these fun facts. Like, you're not a biopic. You can't turn around and suddenly start being like, oh, here's all these interesting facts. Haha, God, playing over a fucking ABBA song. Like, get real. It felt, it almost offended me when I first watched it, and I remember being fuming about it. And I dare not watch it again to find out the deeper reasons as to why I was that fuming. But it's, yeah. You can watch the ending on YouTube, and it's sort of like, it doesn't feel very well put together. And it's a shame, because I fucking love Steve Coogan. He's great.
It makes me laugh because the way we look at bad, but it was always at the start, the way we both look at bad movies, you're like, yeah, political message, and I'm just like, that's just ass, man. Like,
yeah, but there's a level to it. Like,
yeah.
I
also don't watch these kinds of
movies. And also, I'll specify it's not bad because it's got a political message. It's just not well weaved into the plot. No. And I feel like it was very self-congratulatory of Greed to be like, look at us, we're spreading a good message. It's like, no. You don't get to congratulate yourself and give yourself a pat on the back for being all like progressive and being like, oh yeah, we did this, and this. Like, you fucking didn't do shit. You didn't do shit. I think there's a problem, and I think there's that sort of problem in the film industry nowadays, where there are sort of like films like this which come up, and thankfully that one went under the radar and didn't get talked about. But I watched that, and I'm like, oh my God, what are you trying to? It's fucking appalling.
Yeah, it does make me laugh. It's like, George, political message weaved in bad. Me, Venom did funny dance I did not like.
Yeah. God, this has been a very ranty episode, hasn't it? I want to talk about a film that, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's a film which is like going on the other end of like so bad that it's good. And the reason it's so bad is, and I
know what you're going to say. You're going to say The Room.
I'm saying The Room, yeah.
I've not seen it. This is one of the movies I really want to watch. This movie. I've never seen this movie.
We should do a commentary track of it.
We should definitely do a commentary track of it. But I know most of this movie. I know every fucking famous quote from this movie.
I haven't seen it in years. It's really good. It's like, it's appalling, but it's great. Like, it's a terrible movie objectively, but you know what I love about it more than anything? And this is the whole thing about this episode, right? It's not about, because as someone who is an aspiring filmmaker, aspiring writer, kind of director, right? I'm not going to sit here and put films on blast for the creative side of it being fucked, right? I'm not going to be like, oh, this is like the absolute, you know, if it's a passion project of a filmmaker to bring something out, I'll be like, I appreciate that, even if I don't like the film, I'll appreciate that side of it, and it doesn't deserve to be put on blast for that, right? But Venom, The Last Dance, fucking like the live action Lion King, Fantastic Beasts 2 and 3. I have no intention with those to be like, oh, I'll give it fair game. But with The Room, despite all its flaws, is a passion project from someone who had just a gargantuan amount of money and not very much creative talent, but made something fucking great, but also terrible. It's not a good film, but my God, has it created a following, and he's become very successful off the back of it, and I think he deserves his flowers for that.
What's his name again?
Tommy Wiseau.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. And it's hilarious. I love the fact you watch it and it's like starring Tommy Wiseau, directed by Tommy Wiseau, produced by Tommy Wiseau, written by Tommy Wiseau. Every credit in the opening credits is him, bar like a couple of names, and it's so funny. The film is laugh out loud hilarious. It's like a GCSE drama performance.
I've probably seen most of it in clips, to be honest. It's like,
it's unbelievable. But one of my favourite bits about the film that I just think is really funny is that, like, it's written, directed, and starring Tommy Wiseau, right? Who gets to have like a full, multiple full sex scenes with his co-star.
God, yeah.
When like she's got like her tits out and stuff, and it's like they play the whole sex scene, but the sex scene goes on for an unbelievable amount of time. They play a song, right? And it's almost like they don't know how to edit a song down because they play the entirety of the song. Like it's about 3.5 minutes, and it plays the whole thing, and it's the entire sex scene for that entire amount of time. A whole song from beginning to end with the sex scene playing over it. And it's fucking hilarious. That's like, he was like, there's so many stories about this, and there's so many funny like things about this film that I think are just hilarious, and that's one of them, because you have that sex scene like 10 minutes in, and then like another scene happens, and then Tommy comes back home, and they have another sex scene like with the same length, and it's just like I don't know if it's a film with sex scenes, or I don't know, or if it's a porno with some fucking actual dialogue in between it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's just so
hilarious,
famous, like just fucking famous. Like, I didn't hit her, I did not.
Well,
hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. Hi, doggy.
Yes, hi, doggy.
Even all the other actors are shit as well, because it's directed by him. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. Have you seen all that? I want to see one of the live things in London when they do it. They used to actually have some of the cast members walk up to it. Yeah. There's a whole like cult thing. They stream it at the is it Prince Charles Cinema, I think, maybe. And there's like a whole thing. There's like a bit like Rocky Horror, where there's like a cult following. It's like whenever if you look in the background of the film, there are framed images of spoons in the flat. Fuck knows why, but there is. And
Art
there's
Department
a whole
by Tommy Wiseau.
It's art department, isn't it? Yeah, literally, it's like that. In these cult screenings, whenever that appears in the background, the audience throw plastic spoons in the air.
That's quite cool.
Yeah,
it has a proper cult following though, doesn't
it? Yeah. Oh, it does. I've seen it a couple times, and it's funny. And I think I'd be willing to watch it again to do a commentary track on it, because I feel like that would be quite funny.
100%.
I definitely think we should do a commentary track at some point anyway. We've talked about this a few times, but I think that'd be quite fun to do. We've never done that on this podcast yet, and it can be quite enjoyable.
It'd be so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, any sort of like, I don't know if there's any sort of final note I want to say about it. I think
my last one that I had was, ironically, the Percy Jackson The Light and the Thief movie.
Oh, okay.
Because that shit was bad. I've not seen it since I was a kid, but I remember it's that equivalent of, I read the books. I'm like a massive Percy Jackson fan. I love the books, still do. And then was like, hey, there's a movie adaptation. I'm going to watch the movie. And it was one of the. And I remember as a kid, it was like my first time experiencing something bad, and I was offended. I was like, there was like story points. I was like, that's not the same as the book. I was like, why have they done that?
Oh my
god. That's the only. But it's a completely
Mm.
different like style, and I've not seen it for years. And obviously they did the TV show.
Bro became Star Wars theory at the age of like 2. Crazy.
Don't get me started.
Well, that wasn't Kiadi Mundy's age in the tie-in Phantom Menace novel.
Anyway, that's another. Honestly, that's another episode.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, I think on a sort of final note, I think it's like, I never want to be the sort of person to slag off a movie for being just bad when it's a creative project. I never want to do that. I never, that would be very hypocritical of me, because I'll make some absolute ass shit, right? But certain things need to be more discussion based in like the film community, and I think they are, but like the amount of slop we're getting and the amount of lenience towards AI generated content as well is becoming more and more concerning by the day, and it's stuff that needs to be discussed, and it's our responsibility as podcast hosts to talk about these things. No, but it is important to talk about, I think. It's like, it's not just about, this funny movie's bad. It's like going, well, this is the state of the industry at the minute, and this is why it's an important discussion point and something we need to understand, because the filmmakers of the next generation, when all your fucking Spielberg, your Tarantinos have died, they'll be inspired by a new generation, and the new generation of filmmakers, there are people being born now who will be filmmakers in 20 years time, and those people will be inspired by what they see now, and what they see now is slop. Then they're going to make slop, and we're destined to lose an art form if we continue to go down this path. And I think it's important to have these discussions and to remember things which are brilliant creative projects that have an artistic vision behind it, because filmmaking is an art. It's not just for lols or for money. It is an art, and the sort of Hollywoodification and the sort of studioification of filmmaking and the film industry has gone to such a degree now, where you go into cinemas and all you see is legacy sequels and Marvel films and DC films and adaptations. Like, there's very rarely anything original anymore. And some of the best films of our generation are, some of them are like adaptations of like novels and stuff, but like they are like fundamentally unique and inspired and brilliant. Like Jurassic Park, for example, like Jaws, 2 Steven Spielberg films, of like a generational sense of importance. Both adapted from books, yes, but the iconography of what those films are, what they hold in the history of film, cannot be understated, and we lose the opportunity to get those sort of things. The next Spielberg might not be recognised now because we're giving directorial jobs to people who were on SNL for a year, or people who have made a few TikTok videos. Like, I guarantee the Costco guys will make a film before many inspired actual aspiring filmmakers. And I think that's where there's a lot of issues in the industry, but I think it's important to talk about it with getting away from AI slop and fucking legacy sequels and all that sort of shit. Anyway.
I'd be interested to do a video game one, because it's very similar with video games. That's why indie games are so popular.
Yeah, exactly, because it's independent, right? And that's the whole thing.
Because it's not AAA shit that they're pumping out.
Yeah, it's the same. I think it's the film industry. It's like, it's all just like, oh, you remember this, remember this, remember this. It's nostalgia bait, right? But yeah, it is bad nostalgia bait. Good nostalgia bait is available on YouTube and Spotify every Thursday at 10 a.m. So, where are we going? I think we're ready for Just News. Come on, give us some Just News. I've waffled for long enough.
So once again, this is a news story that I saw. I think I saw it on the news, or I saw it on Instagram or something, or on Twitter. Okay. And it's just too funny not to do. I love it. Because whoever the fuck is responsible for this is A, a genius, and B, is a horrific oversight on their part.
Can't wait for
this. From Sky News, Children's Soft Play Centre apologises over body bag Halloween decorations.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man.
Rugrats and Half Pints in Cirencester, Gloucestershire, said they will be removed after concerns from shocked parents. Open up the article. Make sure you have the article open.
Rugrats and Half Pints is the name of the fucking play area?
Yeah.
Oh, that is... I'm sorry, that's
because you call children Half Pints and Rugrats.
Did they?
I've heard children being called Half Pints.
By alcoholics, presumably.
Probably, most likely.
You get that little half pint over here. Like, that's mental. Rugrats, okay, fair enough.
Half pints serving half pints. A children's soft play centre has apologised and removed its realistic-looking Halloween body bags after concerns from shocked parents. One mother who took her daughter to Rugrats and Half Pints in Gloucestershire on Sunday said she did a double take when she spotted the decorations.
I've just scrolled down.
Pictures show that resemble human bodies covered in black plastic, some wrapped with tape, marked caution and danger, hanging upside down from the poles adjoining one of the soft play structures. The mother, who didn't want to be named, told Sky News, "I went inside with my daughter. The body bags were at the back, which can't be seen from the cafe area, only by kids inside. When I saw them, I did a double take. Surely that can't be what I think it is. I just didn't want to have to explain it to the kids. I spoke to some of the parents after who were as shocked as I was that I was deemed appropriate. It's a great soft play, but that did shock me a bit."
Can I just interject here? If you're listening and you're not, maybe if it's not on screen already, please check the link in the description. Go and look at this news article, because fuck me, these photos are much worse than I thought they could be. I thought we should kids bury it. It's not just that though. It's not just that for me. It's not even the body bags for me. It's the fact that they're hanging from scaffolding and on the floor there's like plasterboard and shit. I'm like, what the actual fuck is this? And are they like kids' height?
Do you know when I originally saw this article? So if you scroll down the article, the second picture that shows them, like, it shows them quite in wide image. I thought they were the thing on the left hand side. You know, the things that you used to like hug and swing on when you're on like soft play and stuff.
Oh, God.
I thought they were them. Like, I thought they dressed them as like body bags.
No.
Which again, it's like
crazy.
This is the thing though. It's so like they look so realistic. Like, that's TV show, like,
but
movie art
But you know, the funny thing is, there's no other Halloween decorations. That's the worst bit.
That's literally
If there was some cobwebs up, if there was some, like, orange stuff, if there was some, like, bats, some bunting, little happy Halloween thing. No, it literally just looks like a kid's body. That's the other thing. It's not, like, adult-sized. They're kid-sized, because it's a fucking play area. They've body bags of kids.
Beware, children, beware.
Oh my God.
A spokesperson told Sky News this is the first time someone has brought it to our attention, so of course due to this we will take them down immediately. It wasn't to cause distress and we apologise that this is how they felt. According to the centre's website, offers it has a cafe apparently. Anyway, and it won an award. But the whole point of this is this shit's funny that they did this. I'd love to know who thought this was a great idea.
On it, Rugrats and half pints. I mean, it's the worst. I mean, they say no press is bad press. I think hanging up fucking body bags on a kids' play area is pretty bad. It literally looks like Mr. Twisters as well. Have you got Mr. Twisters?
Yeah, I did got Mr. Twisters.
Oh, is that still open? Yeah. I really,
I don't know.
Just little things like that where you just think, you go, oh my god. No, it literally looks exactly like that. I used to love Mr. Twisters, man. I hope that's still open.
It's still open.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh man,
yeah, it is still open.
That's a very niche Newcastle
It's
thing.
Very niche. Go with it though.
And it's a fucking trampoline sensor. Fuck that.
Oh
no.
There was loads that we used to have when I was a kid.
Oh no. Yeah, it's like a very niche. I don't mind talking about it, but yeah, you're right. It is quite niche. It's like I can't believe this trampoline park. Oh my god, they've just sold out.
There was another one but I can't remember. I don't think it's open now. Oh, what was it called? I'll try and find it.
It's like Giant's Den.
Yes, Giant's Den.
Giant's Den. Is that still open? The Giant's Den. I think it is. I think Giant's Den is still open, which is kind of crazy. Giant's Den. Bloody hell, that's a throwback, man.
Bro, Giant's Den was goated with the cannons.
That didn't have cannons, did it?
I'm thinking of another one. There's one that
I'm
thinking. No, I think it was Giant's Den. I'm sure. Yeah, it was. It was Giant's Den. There was like a big open space where they had the cannons with the little foam balls. And you used to just terrorize.
Not when I was a kid. There was another. No, there was another one that I can't. It was near Beamish. This is so Denise conversation. I don't care. There was a one that was near Beamish which had that, and that was unreal. But I only discovered that when I was a bit older. Giant's Den.
Giant's Den was really good.
Was Team Valley? That was Team Valley.
Yeah, it is that one. I'm sure that had the cannons.
I don't know if it is. Yeah, well, at least not when I was a kid. But
there's a photo here with them with the cannons. Yeah, so there was a big open space that you used to have to if you wanted to get from one side to another, you have to cross through it. But on all the corners, there were these air cannons that you used to put foam balls in and fire them. So we used to just terrorize kids.
Yeah, I love that. Those were fucking amazing. But I don't think anything for me beats Mr. Twisters.
Mr. Twisters was fucking based.
That was unreal. Based. Yeah. That was the best. But either way, none of our childhood ones hung up body bags. That is actually crazy. And this looks appalling, by the way. I can't fathom why they.
If I remember, I'll put a photo on the screen.
If not, then just check it in the description. Absolutely mental. That's unbelievable. Well,
wow. Anyway,
Jesus.
Thank you so much for listening and/or watching this episode of Nostalgia Bit. If you enjoyed, please leave us a hearty 5-star review. I'm sorry for waffling so much.
I hope you've all enjoyed it.
Hearty 5-star review on Spotify. It really does help. And if you're on YouTube, comment some of your shit movies that we've forgotten about.
Yeah. What are your least favorite movies? Go on.
There's going to be so many that someone's going to comment and we'll go, "Oh my god, how did I forget about that?" But make sure you subscribe and tune in next Thursday or whatever we have planned, because
I can see what we have planned, but I don't know if we're going to do it next week or not.
Let's wait, because I don't know if we're going to do that one. So.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
But we will see you next week with an episode.
Something. She'll get something next week.
Something funny. Haha.
Funny, haha.
Funny, haha. See you next week.
What are we doing? Bye.